Hi guys, I know I'm still backwards. I'm working on it, so please no comments about why don't you just turn the camera. I'm working on it, okay? But as you can see, I've painted the rest of the garage door and I've put a few bits up. I'll show you in a minute the right way around. um, Firstly, I just want to say thank you for all the comments on my last video on the cemetery walk round of my local cemetery in Gislingham. It's literally 5 minutes walk from me, and it's an amazing place. It's an amazing village, and a lot of you commented on the fact that the gravestone that I'd found of the World War One soldier that had died a week after the end of the First World War. You all commented, or a lot of you commented, that he could have died from the Spanish flu, which was rife then, and you're right, he could have. I didn't think of that, and that was a very good point, so thank you. And it's likely that his sister that was in Canada, who was 33, she died the year after, I think. I would have said it's highly likely that she probably died from that as well, which is tragic. I mean, yeah, absolutely awful. But I love doing those videos and I will continue doing them. I know they don't get loads of views, and as I said to you, I'm not worried about that, because the views that I do get and the comments I do get, you seem to be on the same level as me and in your enjoyment for wandering around the cemetery and looking at gravestones. So I will carry on with that. So thank you. Today's video is about the real reasons why I sold my two classic 350s. I've been thinking about this a lot recently because of the imminent arrival of my classic 500, and that hopefully will be in the next, I think probably in the next 2 weeks. I can't wait. I'm so excited about this bike, I can't tell you. I've ridden a classic 500 a couple of times. I know they're not as refined, if that's the word, or they have more character than the classic 350, but I loved both times I rode it. I loved it, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to doing things to it. Sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so I can't wait. But it has made me think about my other two classic 350s that I used to own. And the first, I'll show you some pictures in a minute of my two bikes that I sold. The first one was a classic 350 in Halcyon Grey, which is the kind of powder blue colour. I have to say, aside from my Z900 RS, that has been my all-time favourite bike. Now, I've been thinking about why did I sell that bike? The minute the guy left with the bike in his van, I regretted it. I thought, what have I done? And all I can think of, apart from the fact that I'm stupid, but you know that already, all I can think of is that I was going through a phase which lasted a couple of years. It's stopped now. I know a lot of you don't believe me, but it has stopped now. I was going through a phase of buying a bike and, oh, I love this bike, I love this bike, and then seeing another bike and thinking, oh, I want that bike. But to get that bike, I'm going to have to sell this bike. And so it went on for years and years and years. I was a bit like that with women in my early 20s. I used to go out with a girl. She was lovely, perfect. Oh, this is the girl for me. And then you're in a pub and you meet someone else and you think, oh, actually, she's nice as well. The only difference is, obviously, you can't sell the first girlfriend like you can with a motorbike. I apologise to, I've got 10% of my subscribers are women, so I apologise to you. I'm not like that now, obviously. So I had that sort of trait in my character, which isn't a particularly good trait to have. I suppose it's just never being happy, maybe. Although I am a happy person, but that's obviously not content. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I'm trying to analyse myself, and that's never a good thing. So I sold Ernie my classic 350 and regretted it straight away. Then I had the opportunity to buy another classic 350 in Halcyon Green, which is like the metallic green colour. Now, I've got a friend of mine, Richie, who's got a Halcyon Green classic 350, and it was him who got me into the classic 350. He went to buy one, I went with him, and I loved it. He let me ride it around the block, and I literally fell in love with that bike straight away, and I thought, I've got to have one. And that's what started this whole classic journey, if you like. So the next bike was a Halcyon Green 2023 reg, I think, 23 reg. And again, exactly the same thing about that bike. That single cylinder engine just makes you smile, and you can potter about, and it's not a speed demon. Everyone knows that. And I used to get a lot of comments from people, a lot of comments and emails saying, What's the point of a classic 350? It's only 20 brake horsepower, it's underpowered, it's good for nothing. I had that so many times, and it used to really frustrate me because I felt people just didn't get it, obviously. Because for me, and I lived in London, or the outskirts of London then, that bike was great. Once I was in the countryside, in the country lanes, it was perfect for pottering about on. Absolutely loved it. I've been on the motorway on both of them, and although you can't, obviously you can't go fast and you have to stay in lane one, I still managed it. And they're not meant for motorway riding anyway, but they're meant for country lanes. I've moved to the country, and I probably, the minute I moved, within the first week, I thought I need to have another classic 350 or 500, as it turns out. Because these lanes are perfect for pottering around on. My other half, she absolutely loved coming on the back of the 350. We used to poodle about at 30 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, and you take in all the scenery, you experience things that you don't experience when I'm racing about on my Z900 RS, which I tend to do. It just makes me want to ride fast, that bike. I don't know why. I think it's the sound, actually. So I'm really looking forward to sort of slowing down a little bit and just taking in the countryside and the villages around here on my classic 500. Let me spin the camera around and I will show you the bikes that I owned and talk you through my garage wall, which I'm loving. So guys, this is the right way around garage door. I've added, some of you might remember, you OGs from my old garage will remember Stig. I've had a few emails about Stig, like where is he? So he's here. He's obviously not stuck to the door, but he's resting on the door. But what is stuck to the door is my silver play push button award. I can't remember what they're called, but you get that when you get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And a couple of years ago, I was getting close to 2,000, and my other half and a friend of mine, unbeknown to me, made up this little award for me for 2,000 subscribers, and I absolutely love it. I'm never going to get to 100,000 subscribers. I'm never probably going to get to 10,000 subscribers, but it was really sweet. The sentiment was just very sweet. So that's the garage door. Right, let me spin the camera around and show you my bikes. So that was my very first classic 350 in halcyon grey, powder blue. Now, I absolutely, as I said, loved the bike. I did so much to it. I painted the seat, or dyed the seat black. I've got a picture in a minute I'll show you. I put a mudguard number plate there, and a tax disc, an old retro tax disc on it, and some panniers. And I'll show you what the result was. There you go. Seat dyed black, black panniers. The little number plate on the front mud guard. I don't know if you can see the little tax disc. Absolutely love that bike. So then I went on and I bought Charlie, my halcyon green classic 350. Again, loved the bike, loved the little engine. Gave me exactly the same feeling as Ernie did, my first one. But there was just something not quite, I didn't love it as much as I loved Ernie. And when I had the offer by someone to buy both my classic 350, this one, and my Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650, I thought, right, that will give me the opportunity to buy my next bike, which I will tell you about now. So my next bike was the Triumph Bonneville T120 black. And I thought, I mean, it's definitely got character. Don't get me wrong, that bike has got character. But I thought I wouldn't miss the character of the Classic 350 because I'd be buying a bike with character, as in the Bonneville. But you cannot beat the character of a Classic 350 or 500. I've ridden the 500 and that's even more characterful than the 350. So that was my biggest regret. Well, one of my regrets was selling both those bikes to get the Bonneville. Although I loved the Bonneville, I miss the Classic 350 so much. I can't explain why I got rid of Ernie, my first halcyon grey 350. The only thing I can think of, apart from the fact that I'm stupid, which I think you know already, was the fact that I went through a phase as you who've been watching me for a while will know, of buying a bike, keeping it for a short time and selling it. And I can't explain why I had that trait in me. I don't understand it. Well, I was a bit the same with women in my early 20s, thinking about it. I used to go out with a girl and she was lovely and I think, oh, she's the one. And then you go out again and meet someone else. I think, oh, she's nice too. The only difference is you can't sell the first girlfriend. It's not quite the same. So you'd keep them both. No, you wouldn't do that. I think it was a bit like that. It was, I just thought, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that. There were so many bikes, and there are so many bikes. And you always think the grass is greener, and you always think this next bike's going to be better. And I always have a short list, and on the short list, it's got to be looks, comfort. This is for bikes, not women, by the way. Looks, comfort, yeah, power isn't really up there for me. It's more the looks and how I fit on it, because that's the other problem I've got. Some bikes that I buy and I think, oh, I'm a bit cramped on this. And with the Classic 350, to be honest with you, I can't ride that bike without the pillion seat on there. I've mentioned this before, because I do find it cramped. But I managed to squeeze on with my other half, and maybe it's because she's on with me and we're having I love the fact we're out together on it, that I don't notice it so much. But on my own, without the pillion seat on there, it felt cramped. And what I used to do was to slide back onto the pillion seat when I was alone on the bike, and that made it comfortable. So yeah, it wasn't perfect size-wise because it's not a big bike, obviously. But the Classic 500, guys, is coming soon. I spoke to Ian the other day from Wibsy Motorcycles. Why can't I say that word? Wibsy. God. And he's so kind. This guy is, if you're looking for a bike, go and check his website out. He's got some great bikes. I know I keep saying that, but he really has. He's in Bradford, and he was going to drive his van down with the bike on it and stay the night in a local hotel just so I could get my bike sooner. How amazing is that? Tell me another dealer that would do that. I don't think there is one. So Ian, I really appreciate it, mate, and I can't wait to get it, but please don't come down and stay. Well, you can stay the night here if you want, mate, but yeah, don't put yourself out. It will be in the next couple of weeks, so I will be the proud owner, because he's serviced it, he's MOT'd it, he's changed the spark plugs. I mean, it's ready to go apparently. So I'll be out with you, all your motorcyclists, because we've got matching bikes. We'll be like Chips. Do you remember? Do you remember Chips? The TV drama in the late 70s, was it early 80s? There were two guys on police motorbikes. Was it Poncho? I'm going to be Poncho, and the all year motorcyclist can be the other guy. I don't even know what John was his name. Anyway, yeah. So we're going to be like Chips, riding around the Suffolk countryside on our matching bikes. Can't wait. Yeah. So guys, I've always loved the Classic 350, and it's just through complete stupidity on my behalf and a weird character trait that I had, but I no longer do, that I got rid of them. That was the only reasons. They're both the Classic 350 and the 500 are incredible bikes. A lot of you mentioned the fact that it's underpowered and it's only got 20 brake horsepower. To me, for this area especially, it's the perfect bike for pottering about and taking in the countryside and the villages. It's the perfect bike, and I'm so excited about getting the Classic 500 and showing it to you lot, and starting to do things to it, however wrong that sounds. Anyway guys, have a great weekend, and I will catch you on probably one more video before Christmas, and yeah, ride safe.